Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you, and thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. Now this video changed like right before I shot it, because initially I was just going to shoot these two, kind of bookend a really nice Blanco and a extra anejo. But then I remembered, oh, I hadn't reviewed the G4 2024 Madera. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw this in the mix. It's 90 proof. It is from El Pandillo Distillery, you know, Felipe Camarena, and this is the bottle that actually uses the wooden fermentation tanks and deep well water. Okay, 90 proof Blanco. From there, we're going to go to PM Spirits. PM Spirits been getting in the tequila game kind of within the last year or two, but they've been producing some really nice releases. Of course, PM Spirits is a pretty famous independent bottler now that grew their name on some really fine cognac Armagnac selections. They actually own the Line Cantada, I think, brand, or they import it, the Line Cantada brand. And so they grew up on a really good brandies. And now they're getting into tequilas because they've got a guy named Jose Luis Gutierrez, who was, I guess he was doing a lot of work for the Mexican Regulatory Council and trying to get a lot of laws and rules and regulations tied and transferred over into Europe. So make sure they can get their good tequilas and that they understand what it's all about. So he was doing a lot of work behind the scenes there, but he also works firsthand with a lot of distilleries. So PM Spirits tapped him when it was time to select tequilas, and he's the one that's kind of behind all this one. Now this one is from a smaller distillery. 1468 is the nom. Now, when I looked into that one, and I'll put, again, all the details I'm going to put in the description. But that distillery actually does the Lalo brand of tequila, and there's a couple others they do. So, but the Lalo probably being the most famous right now. But this is still strength, 110 proof Blanco. And when you turn it around, it gives you all the details on the back. It talks about how, of course, no additives, right? But it talks about it. The agaves were 6 years on average, a 35 brix count as far as their sugar content, cook time of 40 hours. Copper pot distillations 2 times. The first run, it was 8 hours. Second run, 16 hours. Again, no additives and 110 proof. So we're going to taste that one second. And then we're going to finish on the Suerte Extra Añejo. Suerte, the XAs have always been kind of a limited release they do every year. The little graphic logo on the front changes. They've had like Lucky Lips, and they had the Lucky Diamond. So they have a diamond, or they have the little lips. And this one is called the King's Crown. Okay, it is 80 proof, but they do different maturation lengths. And so some of those were like 6 years, 7 years, as low as 5 years. But this one is a 7+ year old extra añejo. Retail pricing on this one's $125. The PM Spirits still strength, I want to say I was like 65, 70, and same thing for the G4. So let's go ahead and get to the tasting, see what we think on each and every one of these. Okay, starting with that wooden fermenter, deep well water, El Pandillo Blanco. Oof, yeah. Oh my goodness, this one has got butter, clay, that good minerality, light mint, little white pepper, little, this one's like limoncello is what it smells like on the nose, a little bit of lemon, light grassiness, almost like, yeah, almost like I can see lemongrass and limoncello for some reason there. Ooh, the agave is still bright, but there is some, when you get deeper in that glass, you can pick up a little bit of like a denser, mustier note, which is really nice because it goes beyond just that kind of pumpkin sweet potato thing that those often Blancos will get, because that's basically what agave tastes like whenever it's cooked. But this one almost has a depth of almost like a At least on the nose, a light cheesiness in the background in with that butter. All right, here we go on the taste. Mm. Oh, it's perfect. 90 proof is perfect for that one. 80 proof would have lost so much. Oh, golly. The way it hits is so soft. And then it slowly ramps up. And the flavors are all in there and they're kind of just... Okay, here we go. Enters that kind of baked agave sweetness, right? The agave nectar. There's like that little sweetness of that. Not over the top. Lime zest. That lemon in with that lime. Hitting right up behind there. There is that white pepper, that big agave, baked agave flavor. It's right at the forefront. A little bit of white pepper. A little bit of cinnamon. But that lime and lemon is beautiful, the way it lingers onto the finish. That minerality, that clay that I was picking up is kind of in there underneath everything. That little light, almost rancio cheesiness that I picked up on the nose is in there. And it works perfectly with that little butter. But it's not, that rancio isn't like up there. It's not right at the front. It's actually below all that citrus and spices that you're picking up. Oh, yeah, that butter is big and that minerality, and the agave is fresh. Again, it's almost like lemongrass. Real light mint underneath. But, I mean, that to me is like fantastic Blanco. That lime, that acidity of that lime zest really runs the length. Minerality is really nice under there. You get that red dirt. Okay. Yeah, fantastic. If you see that, it's worth picking up. Now, if you have some of the other incarnations, like last year's or the year before, it's going to be a close call. Once this one breathes a little bit and softens out, I can see where maybe some of the others are better, but it's not going to be by a ton. And at this price point and this availability, pick it up if you see it. Getting that good double rinse, because now we're going to go into a still strength. Different distillery. But again, I read all the details. And again, everything, all the details, I'll try to put those in the comments, okay? But I know this one's 110 proof, about similar price point. Maybe a triple rinse. That thing is, yeah, hanging on. Okay, here we go. Okay. This one's a little more on the slate, vanilla, lime. But there's also like underneath it, I smell like, that's so weird. Cherries, apples. And usually the cherry and the apple component are usually found come as barrel notes. This is not barreled. So those notes, those kind of fruity notes are coming strictly from the agaves, the pinas. And again, typically, you know, and some really good ones like, you know, Legato comes to mind, the Grand Legato. Those are, they give you that really beautiful sweet potato pumpkin note of that fresh agave when it's cooked. This one smells like, it doesn't get there. This one's almost like, this one's focusing on the floral and the fruitiness of the agave. Clean, very, very clean. Let me give this one a taste. Whoa. think the high ABV hides a lot of those nuances on the nose. Wild. Ooh, lots of pepper. Okay, here we go. Yeah, pure clean agave. Almost like if you were to crack a piña before it's even baked and kind of smell that, again, earthy grassiness. That's what you're going to taste. Cucumber skins. This one's a little more on the just the lime zest. Again, that slate minerality. So it's not going into the red dirt or the clay that I was picking up here. This was like wet slate. Cinnamon is up, but it's not like as high as I would expect it to be at 110 proof. Doesn't really drink that. Drinks closer to 100 on the nose. But the pepper that's in it, it comes on the back end. It's black pepper. Black pepper shows up. But lots of acidity from that citrus, that lime zest still kind of running onto the background. Maybe even a little bit of lemon in there, but mostly lime. Super clean, really enjoyable. I would not call this one sweet by any means. So if you don't like, this, again, there's no additives, right? No additives in any of these actually. But if you like those sweeter tequilas, this one's going to be a little more on the opposite spectrum. This one's almost like a ranch water. It's like just agave and soda. It's like very clean, right? That's what that reminds me of. $65 price point. Great bottle to have. Ooh, okay. It's hard. Oh, one thing I should mention about this one, this one has a traditional cork top, right? But it's using a synthetic, a rubber cork. This one's using those kind of glass tops. Used to come from Germany initially. And I see people struggle with these a lot. I've had people kind of ripping them off. And little key to this one is if you just give your thumb, just use your thumb and kind of pry it up. It just pops up without making a lot of noise or anything. That's how you remove those. Just use your thumb. Nice and easy. Okay, a little insider tip there. Okay, now Suerte Extra Añejo. At least 7 years old. Okay, I want to say it was French and American oak if I remember correctly. So European American oak. That's what I meant, not really French. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Gosh, total different. When you get that much maturation on the other spectrum end of the agave spirits. All right, here we go. This one I would call molasses maple syrup. Molasses and maple syrup together. As far as the sweetener, bright sour cherry, little plums, little cinnamon, a lot of sour apples, almost like apple cider vinegar. There's apple cider vinegar. And there is a little brown sugar to it. I picked that up a little more. It reminds me of it's closer to the oak profile. All right, let's try it. It's delicious. It's oak and cedar. Medium viscosity. Yeah, medium high. It's edging towards medium high. This one had really nice medium high viscosity. This one felt about a little less than this one, but I would still give it an edge over medium. About the same here. Toffee. So you get that kind of caramel, toffee, light nuttiness. Wow. I mean, there's that kind of baked plum, baked apple, baked cherries, and with that little baking cinnamon just freshly grated on top of those. Chocolate. And this one's almost like a little medium chocolate, like milk dark split. But the oak and cedar on the back end are spectacular. I love it when tequilas go into that cedar realm. Doesn't really go bitter. You know, sometimes when they get really old and oaky, they can go bitter on you. No, there is some light nuttiness of pecans, but fantastic. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I thank you, as always, for joining me here on YouTube. But if you can, please consider joining me over at patreon.com/LiquorHound. That's where you're going to get these videos ad-free. You're going to help support this channel because that's how I'm able to keep this channel going. I self-purchased these bottles using those funds, and that's how you're going to get these straightforward, unbiased reviews. So you know when I tell you that's what these are, that's what these are. I'm not beholden to anybody. But I thank you, as always, for being here with me. Everyone have a great evening, and cheers.